نسيم اللي مارق عالشجر مقابلي، عن أهلي حكاية، عن بيتي حكاية، عن جار الطفولة حكاية طويلة. احكيلي احكيلي يا نسيم اللي مارق عأرض الغار، حلفتك تجي تلعب عند بهالدار. يا نسيم اللي مارق عأرض الغار، حلفتك تجي تلعب عند بهالدار. خبرني كان بعده بيذكرني حبيبي. احكيلي يا نسيم عن أهلي، عن بيتي، عن جار الطفولة حكاية طويلة. حلفتك خبرني كيف حال الزيتون والصبي بفيك طاحون. حلفتك خبرني كيف حال الزيتون والصبي بفيك طاحون. خبرني حلفتك خبرني خبرني كيف حال الزيتون والصبي بفيك طاحون. خبرني واللوز والعرض وزمانه بلدنا وهوانا. واللوز والعرض وزمانه بلدنا وهوانا. زهر الأيام البخيلة حبيبي. احكيلي عن بلدي، احكيلي يا نسيم اللي مارق عالشجر قابيلي. عن أهلي حكاية، عن بيتي حكاية، عن جار الطفولة حكاية طويلة.
Good early evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, and I hope everybody is doing very much fine after, in my honest opinion, a less turbulent Easter this year. So, there's some stuff to talk about today, and we're going to discuss the current situation with Iran and also talk about, just whatever's on my mind, honestly, because here's the thing. I feel like for something like Iran, you have to, not really do, like, videos. You know, like those updates that I would usually post weekly or bi-weekly or whenever about the war in Ukraine. Iran requires a stream because there's a lot to really discuss and to debate, like, on this conflict. Like there's like so much to discuss. So anyway, let's get into it. And the first thing I want to bring up right now is the current state of oil prices. Things are not looking good right now on the oil market. It's pretty bad. Let's see. Oilprice.com says the Iran war has finally exposed Japan's Achilles heel. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So, yeah. I'm going to get into that in a moment. As soon as I'm able to change the tab here. Let's see here. All right, here we are. The Iran war. Oil prices are pretty high right now, as you can see. It's not looking too good, to say the least. So let's first start off with the prices. So right now, WTI crude is at $113.78 per barrel. Brent crude is $110 per barrel. Murban, which is the main Middle East crude oil that you find over there, is $119 per barrel. And then going all the way down to Urals, which is the Russian oil and gas, it's $121.17 per barrel. So once again, total Russian victory, despite the fact that the Ukrainians are doing all they can to get in their way. They've been striking Russian oil facilities, their refineries, whatever, in like big quantities of FPV drones and missiles alike. They're really trying to slow down, if not collapse, the whole Russian economy, but so far it hasn't worked. And I honestly doubt it's really going to do anything in the short term. I mean, they definitely need to do better at defending those facilities, but honestly, though, as I said, I don't really think they should be too overly concerned unless, like, shit actually does get, like, completely destroyed. But, yeah, as you see here, it is horrible right now. And I wouldn't be too surprised if the friggin', so these are like country by countries. And look at that. All green for Iran. All green for Iran. And Russia here. Sokol is $105 per barrel. Kazakhstan is $122 per barrel. U.S. blends here. Texas. Oklahoma. Anything from California? No? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty expensive right now for oil and gas. But anyway, let's read this article on Japan, okay? Let's see how long it is. Oh, yeah, it's not that long. Good. So, the Iran war has finally exposed Japan's Achilles heel. Global energy crises often act as severe stress tests that explore deep and structural fragilities in global supply chains that are erstwhile ignored. Such crises reveal weaknesses that extend far beyond fuel availability causing systemic disruptions to industrial manufacturing, trade routes, and food security. A good case in point is, well, Germany, which effectively boxed itself into a corner with its decades-long energy policies. Before the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, or the special military operation, as some of my friends call it as, successive German governments pursued an energy policy that significantly increased, not decreased, increased the country's dependence on Russian oil and gas, primarily driven by economic considerations. And, let's see here. To those in chat, by the way, hi. I hope all of you are doing well. And according to this, there's the belief in driving political change through economic cooperation. Germany's Energiewende, I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation because I don't speak German, focused on a dual phase-out of nuclear and coal while rapidly expanding renewables. Oops. By 2021, Germany imported 55% of its natural gas from Russia, making it highly vulnerable to energy supply shocks. And now, the Japanese are facing a similar fate. For decades, the country's strategy of deeply embedding itself in the Gulf's energy system in a bid to secure ample domestic supplies for the resource-poor nation worked like a charm. Thanks to the region's abundant and cheap fossil fuel resources, prior to the conflict, Japan imported over 90% of its crude oil and about 11% of its LNG from the Middle East, with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates as its top suppliers. So the Arabs were literally the Japanese is like number one source for like energy resources, for oil and gas. If you are one of the many countries that have relied on the Arabs to be your main carrier for energy, that's on you. I don't really know what else to say. You're a fucking dumbass regime if you did that. And now your people hate you. You're completely fucked. But anyway, let's continue. Unfortunately, this meant that the vast majority of Japan's crude supply imports passed through the Middle East. In fact, Japan was even more reliant on Middle Eastern energy commodities than Germany and Europe were on Russian gas before the war. The de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran and its allies has effectively blocked the route for 95% of Japan's Middle Eastern oil, a 5-alarm fire that has thrown its economy and financial markets into a tailspin. My God. What were they thinking? And the weebs all say that this is supposed to be like the ideal country or something, like on the planet, and yet it doesn't have a way to like, I guess, be more, what the fuck, I guess self-sufficient on oil, but also have backup resources in the event like something were to go terribly wrong. I mean, yeah, the weebs and the otakus have a lot to answer here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. The Nikkei 225 has borne the brunt of the war, tumbling in double digits within the first few weeks of the conflict, while business confidence in Japan's services has sunk to its lowest level since the pandemic. I mean, Japan has already been fucked before the war, but you get my gist here. The IMF has projected that Japan's economy will only expand by 0.8% in 2026. That's fucking abysmal, with a potential 3% contraction if the fuel crisis persists. Meanwhile, household electricity bills are projected to increase by 15,000 yen, or $95 from April 2026, due to higher LNG import costs. On the energy front, Japan has adopted several measures to cope with the ongoing crises. The government began releasing oil from its national and private reserves on March 16th, with plans to release up to 90 million barrels, or enough for roughly 45 to 50 days of domestic supply. Ooh, that is not good. That marks the largest release from the country's strategic reserves. The government has also resumed state subsidies to stabilize gasoline prices and cap gasoline prices at 170 yen per liter after prices surged to a record high of more than 190 per liter in mid-March. Further, Japan is reducing its immediate reliance on oil-fired power generation. The country has increased the utilization rate of coal-fired thermal power plants, securing coal supplies from Australia and Indonesia. The government has even given the green light for older, less efficient coal-fired equipment to operate for 1 year starting in April 2026. Which is this month, by the way. And let me see when this... Oh, yeah, so this was just published pretty much today. Meanwhile, the Japanese government and private oil companies are frantically trying to secure alternative sources, including oil from outside the Middle East, to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. And by the way, hi there in the chat. Welcome. I hope you're having a good evening. And Japan is reaching out to suppliers in Central Asia, South America, and Canada while negotiating with Venezuela. A former supplier are currently underway. Following high-level discussions with the United States, Japan is exploring a joint effort to boost Alaskan oil production. Japan plans to invest in Alaskan oil infrastructure, including investing in loading facilities to facilitate the transport of Alaskan crude as part of a broader $550 billion bilateral investment program between the two countries. Oil from Alaska takes 12 days to reach Japan compared to over 20 days from the Middle East. Over the long term, Tokyo is adopting several measures to lower dependence on the Middle East. I mean, let's be honest here, it's a little long overdue. First off, there is renewed pressure to accelerate the transition to renewable energy sources, like including, and I quote, wind and solar, in a bid to boost energy self-sufficiency. Last year, the government set an ambitious goal for renewable energy to reach up to 50% of the electricity mix by 2040. A major policy shift now allows for offshore wind development in exclusive economic zones, aiming to boost wind share of electricity from 1 to 8% by 2040. At the same time, subsidies for large-scale ground mountain solar power are scheduled to be phased out by or from the fiscal 2027 to encourage rooftop solar and address land use concerns. Finally, Tokyo is also focusing on boosting energy source, a complete 180 from its previous stance. Under the new 7th Strategic Energy Plan, Japan is shifting from reducing nuclear dependency to maximizing its use, including extending reactor lifespans beyond 40 years and developing next-generation reactors. In January, the Tokyo Electric Power Company restarted Unit 6 of the Kashiwazaki Kariwa nuclear power plant, the world's largest nuclear power plant, following a 15-year shutdown triggered by the 2011 Fukushima disaster, which, as you guys remember, that's when the big earthquake and tsunami came and wrecked, I think, a part of coastal Japan. I remember that shit. I was in middle school at that time. The restart of this single unit is expected to boost electricity supply to the Tokyo area by roughly 2% and displace significant liquefied natural gas imports. Japan has now successfully restarted about half of its 33 operable reactors, with the government introducing new funding schemes to speed up the process. So, and that is that. So Japan overly relied on the Middle East to do its heavy lifting, and it's paying dearly for it. And what's even worse right now is that the Philippines, which is one of my ancestral countries, I know you can laugh at me for that, but it's true. I got some ancestry from the Philippines. Family came back with me, or they contacted us over here in the States, and they said that the country is in big trouble with energy. because they relied so much on Middle Eastern oil, and now that shit is being blocked by the Persians, they can't really seem to get it, and now they're on the brink of a major disaster. Oh, what's this? Somalia, despite, of course, with a huge chunk of it being taken by Al-Shabaab, is looking to embark on its first ever offshore drilling operation. Good luck. I don't know how they're going to do that. Well, oh yeah, so apparently it's going to be helping, they're going to be helped by the Turks. But again, I don't know what they can really do, considering that Al-Shabaab is, like, eating up more of the country every day. But anyway, let's get to the map here. So here's the thing. We do have something to report on when it comes to maps. So this is the map of the Israeli invasion of the Lebanon, former French colony. And I think as of right now, the Israelis control a pretty decent chunk of Lebanon, like southern Lebanon. It seems to me they're trying to take over basically the entirety of the south. Like, they're not going to try to go for Beirut or anything like that, but I think their max is trying to take everything here, I think, up to these mountains here. And then perhaps at most they could try to take over the town of Tyre here, or Tyro as it is in Spanish, because this map that I'm using right now is actually in Spanish. Thanks a lot, Syriac. And this is my map. Well, let's fix that. So yeah, I gotta update the Lebanon section, and I should be able to do that in the future. Though I'm not quite certain over how much control the Israeli army has right now over Lebanon. But I can safely say for sure that Israel is taking high casualties, and despite the fact that they're advancing in the area, it's not like they're doing it so smoothly. And this was to be expected, considering that Lebanon seriously hates Israel, which should be no surprise to anyone. Now, let's get to Telegram right now, and I'll try to load up some videos from the last few days or so. Oh, and by the way, I should mention the big friggin' news this week or so, like at the end of the previous week of Easter, is that Middle East Spectator finally came back from the dead after being dead silent for like a whole month. So, yeah, let's load her up here. And here we are. Telegram. Good old Telegram. Probably my favorite source for any conflict right now in the world. Let's try to adjust this just a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so this is my Telegram. And yeah, as you guys heard by now, the friggin' Minister of Defense here, or the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, who has been credibly accused of alcoholism and sexual abuse or harassment, fired Chief of Staff Army General Randy George due to the recent failures in the Middle East. And then, yeah, I'm shitposting Allah Akbar, Khomeini, Robar, which is God is great, Khomeini is the leader. And then, yeah, I jokingly said America is cooked, even though I don't think it's completely cooked yet, though I do think it is on the path to mean such. And the Russians, Chinese, and even the French are thwarting an initiative by the Arab states to bring the UN Security Council to improve military action against Iran in order to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Wow, quite a shocker. And apparently these two generals were fired by Pete Hegseth as well. David Hodney, a former Army Ranger who leads the Services Transformation and Training Command. Major General William Green Jr. has also been fired too. And yeah, Democratic voters are not too happy at friggin' the Democrats themselves for not addressing the Iran war enough. And then, yeah, you got U.S. Marine Corps here carrying out a reconnaissance mission as part of a simulated amphibious assault on Diego Garcia Island. And then I put on a Hamas song because that's what this whole thing reminded me of. It reminded me of the song that they would play when they would show off their Navy guys, like doing sorts of cool shit on the beaches. And then this is from Time Magazine. Where's the exit? Trump looks for a way out of the Iran war. So the assumption I'm getting from some people is that Donald Trump knows that this shit is not going well, even though he will not publicly admit it. And as far as I can tell, he's looking for an off-ramp from the war. But he wants to exit the war in a way that would make him look glorious. But so far, he has not been able to do that because the Iranians know that's what he wants. He wants a freebie. And then I posted here, and I quote, he has only two choices. He either drags the war and face greater embarrassment when the economy tanks, or take the L now and be ridiculed regardless. There is no winning here for Trump. Yeah, he's kind of fucked at this point. I mean, the fact that the war has now gone on for like a month now, like more than a month now, he's really doomed himself by doing what he did. He should have never, ever started this war. It's arguably even more retarded than what Putin tried to do in Ukraine. But again, I already made it clear in my first Iran war stream that the invasion of Ukraine is nothing like this. The special military operation was justified by how Russia used to control Ukraine and how it was basically a repeat of history like we've seen hundreds of years or so ago. I mean, that one was inevitable, but this was stupid. This was complete stupidity. And then I posted this video of a pro-Khomeini Persian passing by these pro-Pahlavi protesters in the U.S. So basically, it's the diaspora shitting on the other diaspora for being cringe. And yeah, I praised the guy himself for raising middle finger and calling them out for what they deserve. And then there it is. Middle East Spectator is back. He's fine. He even posted Shrek to obviously celebrate the occasion. And then he says that, yeah, he will make sure that nothing will be too provocative, problematic, and legally ambiguous. And an F-15, by the way, was recently shot down. Oh, yeah, and this was, like, the big story this week. So, like, basically a plane got shut down over Iran, and then what ended up happening was the pilots were lost and stranded out in basically the middle of nowhere, and the Iranian people were trying to look for them. But they were not able to capture them, I think, and the two guys were rescued, but man, they lost a lot of shit in return for rescuing those two guys. So yeah, they destroyed the planes, and then there's the helicopter like looking for the crew members, and I think they're shooting at the plane. Yeah, you know that the population is not on your side when they're actually all trying to shoot at you. An A-10 was allegedly destroyed here. And here is a video of an Iranian missile hitting Beersheba. And then we get some clips of the fire that came as a result of that strike.
لا ايش كان بتصدق الشني تيجي هنا عشان ببيولوجي.
And also there was a cluster bomb that was also dropped on this building here in Ramat Gan. And as you can see, the damage is pretty severe on this building alone. And then, let me see here. Yeah, that was brief Ukraine news. Oh, yeah, and this transport helicopter was wrecked in in Iran. Look at that. Wow. Just fucking wow. Completely useless now. So, yeah, they located the pilot. And, yeah, again, I think they were able to rescue them. And look at this traffic jam. Like, the civilians are trying to help the security forces capture the pilots. But the military, though, urged civilians to stay away from the area. Meanwhile, Donald Trump posted these fake-ass numbers. Shaking my head at this. And then Donald Trump gloated about the rescue of this pilot, despite the fact that they lost a shit ton of equipment during the operation. You can read all of that crap. Like, pause the stream for a moment and read all of this, because I'm not going to, because I don't give enough of a shit. And then here is the image of a C-130 Hercules being completely destroyed. Before, after. And then this was from a Russian channel. And look at this damage here. Like, sweet Jesus. All that just to rescue two guys. And then he makes this freaking post that is obviously retarded as hell. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. What? So he basically said, Allah Akbar? Okay. And then Calibrated here posted, and basically he said what I wanted to say. Fantastic work and sacrifice was put in to get that American pilot out of Iran, and it should be admired. But can we talk about the media difference between Russia and the U.S.? Russian Su-34 equivalent is F-15 goes down with the pilot stranded. Russia's rescue operation then loses Su-25, A-10, two Ka-226s, and the U.S. equivalent would be the MH-6, two AN-12s, which the equivalent would be here an AH-C-130, and then two Mi-8s damage, the Blackhawks. The memes would be unbelievable. So yeah, the U.S. lost one F-15, one A-10 Warthog, 4 MH-6 Little Birds, 2 Blackhawks, 2 Hercules, and 4 Reapers. These are the only losses admitted by U.S. sources, ABC, NBC, and the New York Times. And then here is Iranian missile striking Haifa in northern Israel.
מיירט מעליי, נראה לי היה פה מה זה נפילה. יא אחוז שילינג. וואי! יואו, נפילה! זין!
Zine! That's entertaining. According to an informed U.S. military source, not one, but 4 MH-6 Little Bird helicopters had to be abandoned and were destroyed at the landing site along with the 2 C-130s Hercules. during the operation, 2 Reaper drones were also shot down. And then here is some footage of the C-130 Hercules planes flying into Iran for the rescue mission, in which both were destroyed. Now, I'm not going to show this because it's against YouTube's terms of service, but right here, an alleged member of the crew was discovered to be fucking dead. So, yeah, you can go check that out on the Hague Telegram or the Middle East Spectator channel if you want. But, yeah, I think someone died in that plane without a shadow of a doubt. And then here's a cluster missile headed towards the city of Haifa. Just dead silence. Dead silence. And then here's the impact. The smoke is also rising from the oil refinery too in the area. So the Iranians learned from the Ukrainians. Okay, so on April 5th, 2026, out of all the missiles fired in the past 12 hours, less than 60% of them were intercepted. That is not a good sign for Israeli air defenses. And this was Donald Trump today, being a jackass as usual, but just hear what he has to say. It is so fucking retarded. Like, this guy just can't stop running his mouth.
Americans who are not a fan of the war?
They're foolish because the war is about one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Had we not broken the Barack Hussein Obama agreement, you know what I'm talking about, the Iran nuclear deal. This is years ago, my first term. You would have had a total, Israel would have been gone. Extinguished. Israel would have been wiped off the face of the earth, and the entire Middle East would have been, at a minimum, in big trouble. But
that's bullshit. Israel has nuclear weapons. They can defend themselves. He's lying.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
yeah, who you with? Who you with?
Yes.
Well, that's a radical left group of lunatics that you're with. Let me just tell you. Very fair question. The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free. And the only reason they're not out protesting, you know that, is because they were informed that if they protest, like the wrestler and his friends, if they protest, they will be shot immediately. And that's an edict, that's in writing. If they protest, if they go out in the streets, they will be immediately shot. They don't have guns. You know, we sent some guns, but the group that was supposed to give, which I said would happen to my people, I said it, I called it exactly. We sent guns, a lot of guns. They were supposed to go to the people so they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened? The people that they sent them to kept them because they said, what a beautiful gun, I think I'll keep it. So I'm very upset with a certain group of people, and they're going to pay a big price for that. But the Iranian people will fight back as soon as they know they're not going to be shot and as soon as they can get weapons. If they had weapons, not many of them, if they had weapons that would go in the other way, and you know what would happen? Iran would give up in 2 seconds because they wouldn't be able to take it. But in Iran, they have absolutely no weaponry, and they've been told point blank, if you come out to the streets, you will be killed. As of this morning, and we have this on pretty good information, 45,000 protesters have been killed. Pretty bad.
So this guy literally is... All right. First of all, I just want to say that this president is delusional. He is out of touch with reality. And there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever for this abject failure of a war, okay? The fact that the Iranian Islamic Republic regime is still in power after a whole month, like, after, like, everything you've done to it, that says quite a lot about just how badly planned this whole thing is. And by the way, that certain group of people that that he shit-talked, I know who he's referring to. He's talking about the Kurds. The Kurds stole the guns, and they never gave them back. So more of our taxpayer money goes down the drain. So this guy literally expects people in Iran to do all the work for him. Can you believe that? Can you believe this guy literally has the audacity to believe that he is entitled to a regime change war, despite the fact that nobody in America asked for this? And the only people who are cheering him on are a bunch of fucking MAGA simps who glaze Israel because their parents and their grandparents, like, that are evangelical Protestants told them to from day one when they were born. It's a fucking cult. Like, these are the people that, in some ways, are praising the real killers of Christ himself. And yet, they don't seem to know that. Or, like, they're too fucking retarded to actually understand what they're really doing. So, yeah. He's in big trouble right now. The economy is not looking too good. The midterms are still looking very bad for him. In fact, you know what? You guys want to look at Polymarket right now, like to see the bets that people are making over the midterms at the moment? Because I'm going to show it right now. So this is Polymarket right now. So 52% of people on Polymarket are predicting that Democrats are going to sweep both the House and the U.S. Senate. 1% predict that Dems will only take the Senate. 37% predict that GOP will keep the Senate but lose the House, which I think is a more likely scenario. And then a Republican sweep with 13% and other at 1%. I don't know what the other 1% would be. What? Like Libertarian or Green Party suddenly rises to power? Now, don't get me wrong. I do think GOP has a good shot to keep the Senate. The map clearly has them in a much more favorable fashion. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think it looks good for them overall. They're really they're tanking right now, even in the states that Donald Trump seemed to have won easily in 2024. I mean, I'll look at 270 right now. So this is 270 to win.com. I've used this ever since I was a kid. So this is how things are looking right now. Like the overall consensus. I think Democrats are going to keep the state of Michigan, though it'll be quite close. And I do think they're going to flip Susan Collins' seat. Though it will be close too. So it'll be 51-47. Let's see here. 51-47. And then you got like 2. So that would already be like a total of yeah. So basically it would be basically very similar. And then you have 2 wild cards here. North Carolina, Georgia. I feel like John Ossoff, the Jewish guy, I think he might actually stand a chance. It'll be close, but I think he's going to be able to hold on his seat. And then North Carolina, I feel like people are underestimating the current governor right now. So this is what I think is going to happen this November. I think GOP will keep the Senate, but they're going to lose around around 3 seats, and it will look something like this. Okay? Now, a real nightmare scenario, though, is if they lose Ohio. If they lose Ohio, it's tied up at 50, and then they'll be completely bogged. And then, of course, you also have Texas. A lot of people are saying that Texas might be in play, too, because the Democratic candidates there are just seem to be stronger than the GOP candidates. But for now, I'll still say advantage GOP. But this is how I think the map is going to look. I think GOP will keep 51 seats, but they're going to lose 2 seats, I think. So it'll be a net gain of 2 for the Democrats. And then for the House of Representatives, let's see here. Right now, 270 to win currently has Democrats at a 5-seat lead, 211 to 206. And then you have around 18 or so toss-ups. 18 toss-ups. So it's hard to say who could win. This dude is retiring to run against Katie Hobbs. So, yeah, he has a decent shot, but I don't think he's going to win. Al Green lost his race. Thank God. That dude was annoying as hell. All right, let me read the chat for a bit. I think the GOP keeps Senate. It'll be a tight race from all I've seen. Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to keep the Senate. It's very realistic to believe that they would keep the Senate. But the House, I think the House is gone. Despite all that redistricting crap and shit, I think they're already. I think they already lost it. And then you have here the Kalshi prediction here. It's 235 Democrats to 198 Republicans. So they predict that Democrats will take the House Representatives. So yeah, Hakeem Jeffries is going to be the Speaker. That's just the feeling I get is that after 2026. The Trump presidency is, for the most part, going to be kind of cooked. Because without the House Representatives to really do anything, then it's going to be a lot harder for them to really get anything done. But I don't honestly think Donald Trump is going to really care. I feel like he's just going to keep doing all these executive orders until he just leaves. But if the Senate, though, falls to the Democrats in 2026, then he's going to probably face... maybe a 3rd or 4th impeachment. But then what will happen after Trump is gone? That's my question. But yeah, let me see here. Let's go back to the Senate polls, okay? Yeah, I'm going with Cooper here. Any general elections? I'm not gonna come. Oh, I know what you're talking about, man. Reminds me of what Kamala Harris says, don't come. Don't come. And then Trump is like, nah, I'm gonna come. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention. Because here's the thing. Democrats do have a pathway to winning the friggin' election in Alaska. While as crazy as that may seem, their path to it is actually not that far. And Sherrod Brown is running again, I think, for a seat. So, never say never. Now, I think their dream, though, is to flip also Alaska. And they're putting up a very strong candidate, too. So if they get Alaska, then all bets are off, honestly. Though J.D. Vance would still be the tie-breaking vote. But they would really have a difficult time getting a lot of shit done, honestly. But I honestly expect that by the time we get to November, I think the Iran war will maybe be over by then. Something tells me he's just going to give up. He's just going to accept that he had been embarrassed. I mean, for crying out loud, the Taliban and the Viet Cong lost a lot of guys, like leaders and politicians, like officials, and even the Hamas, but they didn't completely lose. Because the U.S.'s goal in all of these, like the one common thing that they all have in like common is that U.S. wants to completely get rid of all these groups. But they don't seem to understand that it goes from being like something like that's like physical in real life to something that's more ideology wise. So you can never, even if the Ayatollah regime were to ever be toppled, the idea will still be very strong. And as far as I see on the ground, to me, it doesn't look like there's enough Persians to get them to overthrow the Ayatollah. I feel like the United States has severely underestimated the amount of Iranians that actually do hate Ayatollah Khamenei. Well, not to be confused with his son. Well, his dad, I mean, the father and son Khamenei duo. I feel like there is a sense of like misunderstanding on the part of the U.S. But yeah, I gotta update this map afterwards. Or actually, you know what? Should I actually just do it right now? Because I think it would be kind of fun. Let's actually edit it right now and try to fix it up. Now, I do want to ask the people in the comment section or the chat. So the areas that Syriac has highlighted here under is really, I guess, are all these actually occupied by the IDF? Like, do they actually control it? Or are they just, like, scurrying around? Like, they're not actually trying to govern anything? Because, look at what Syriac did here. What I wonder is if this is just infiltration. Or perhaps they are actually occupying all that area. Because if they're actually occupying it, then what I'm going to do on my map is I'm just going to color it in blue for IDF. Because I don't want people like coping and saying, oh no, it's just a reconnaissance probing operation. No, I want to know if there's actual territorial control. Like change or something like that. I want to know if there's something really going on here or not. If he does give up, then Israel will prevent it from stopping, I feel. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure, honestly, on Trump to end the war, but same with Netanyahu. Oh my god. Should just came up on Telegram. Oh my god. You see this? I would just color it blue. Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I'll do that shortly. Maybe I could do that while I'm still streaming. I'm gonna stream just for a little more, and then I'll go off for the day, or like the rest of the day. That is, because I got a busy week coming ahead of me. Okay, let's go to Ray Rum. This Randy Fine guy is fucking crazy. This dude is like fucking Peter Griffin in real life, and yet he's like batshit crazy. I don't understand how these Zionists can sleep at night, knowing that they killed like so many people. Are they just fucking psychopaths or something? Let's see here. Because I'm trying to look for the original post. Shit. Where did he, Oh, okay. I gotta scroll up a little more. Sorry about that. It was actually under my nose the whole time. So, Mahdi Mohammadi says, and I quote in Persian, Iran has clearly and overtly won the war, and it will only accept an ending that consolidates its gains and creates a new security regime in the region. The true state of affairs is this. It is Trump who has 20 hours to either surrender to Iran or his allies, or return to the Stone Age. We will not back down. You know, you got to admire the Persians. They have nothing to lose. They have absolutely nothing to lose. They're literally doing everything that Russia couldn't do in Ukraine, and that's just like doubling down. The Strait of Hormuz is closed right now, and they're actually making money out of it somehow. It's quite amazing. And I feel like they have also won the sympathy of the international community too. So the regime has like further solidified its fucking its legitimacy, honestly, not just in the world community, but also within Iran itself. I mean, you could argue that they actually did that since like the Iran-Iraq War, you know, against Saddam Hussein. You could argue that's where they really had won their legitimacy with the people of Iran. But yeah, I like how they're just like talking trash back at Trump. Oh my God. How much money does AIPAC send to this guy, Tom Cotton? Why are they like, you know, here's the thing. Right now, we officially only have like around like 15 to 16 dead U.S. martyrs, okay? Like dead 15 to 16 martyrs in the U.S. military that died during this war, okay? Are you guys convinced that's the real number or no? Because I don't think that's the real number. I think Pete Hegseth and Trump are covering up the real casualty count for the U.S. All I hear is that there's like a big number of like wounded but never dead. They only admitted like a dozen or so dead. I'm literally not buying any of this. I feel like they're bullshitting us, as they usually do. I know Iran has lost a lot of people, but at least they're not really trying to hide it. Yeah, I don't agree. It's not the real number. There's no way that's the real number. It's definitely higher than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 30 or something by now, if not more. There is no way that you could just like take like a dozen or so casualties in this war. Something of this magnitude. There's just no fucking way. Okay, I'm gonna actually, let me see here. Israel military casualties also have to be higher than 14. Yeah, probably. I am not convinced any of these casualty counts are real. All right, Wikipedia article here. Okay. Let me see here. So 15 soldiers killed. 520 military personnel wounded, and 17 U.S. sites in the Middle East damage, equivalent to the cost of $800 million. 12 Israeli soldiers killed. That's bullshit. 7,000 injured. 27 civilians killed. Look at all those equipment losses. And then all the people caught up in it. Syria has unironically went through this thing unscathed for the most part. But yeah, thousands of Persians dead. And 400 plus deceased Hezbollah. Always going after the freaking Iranian leaders, yet Iran's leaders are not like, Iran is like not buckling down. Like the regime is like nowhere to collapsing. The 1970s energy crisis. Iran war fuel crisis. People should call this the 2026 energy crisis. Oh yeah, there it is. The Philippines. Womp, womp, womp. And they declared an emergency too. Like, my God. So diesel exceeded $2.64 per liter. And gasoline surpassed $2 per liter. Now, I'll be honest, in the U.S., that's nothing. $2 gas in the U.S. is like almost extinct now. Let's actually look up the friggin' cost of gas in the U.S. in my home country, because why not? AAA fuel prices. Here we go. Wow. Look at that. Holy fuck. So in my state, it is $5.92, like basically almost $6 per gas, like gallon of gas. Oregon is nearing $5. Washington is at $5. Alaska is now like $4+ Hawaii is fucked. Arizona is getting close too. Mexico is at $4. Utah's at $4. Idaho's at $4. Montana is nearing $4. Wyoming is nearing $4. Colorado is nearing $4. Texas is nearing $4. Oklahoma, $3. Kansas, $3. Nebraska, $3. South Dakota, North Dakota, $3. Minnesota, $3.5. Iowa, $3. Missouri, $3. Arkansas, $3. Illinois, $4. Indiana, got family over there, nearly $4. Michigan, nearly $4. New York is surprisingly cheaper than us, $4. $4. North Carolina, again, I got family over there, almost $4. Florida is not looking too good. This is, by the way, Trump's supposed home state, even though he's really a New Yorker. Man, look at this. So that's just regular gasoline alone, but look at like mid-grade premium and diesel. Like, this shit is now like not affordable to the average Joe. Like, you're better off like riding the bus or riding a train. Well, if you got any in your area. Holy crap. Holy crap. The backlash to the war, I don't think in the U.S. is loud enough yet, but I think that's only because he hasn't put in ground troops. But I think once he does that, then there's not much he can really do to stop what's going to be happening soon. It's California. All right, let's go over every part of the state. But yeah, look at it. Every part of California is like basically unaffordable. Even like the cheapest or so counties, like it's like $5 or so for gas. San Diego County is almost $6. Orange is almost $6. LA is at $6. Santa Barbara is at like almost $6 too. San Luis Obispo, Monterey, both $6. Santa Cruz, almost $6. Santa Clara, almost $6. Alameda, almost $6. Contra Costa, almost at $6. San Francisco, $6. San Mateo, $6. Marin County, $6. Solano County, also almost $6. Napa, Sonoma, $6. What else? Oh, Sacramento, almost $6 too. Like, so basically, all of California right now, you combine this with Gavin Newsom's gas taxes, this is a nightmare. This is a hell on earth. How can you live off this? The answer, you can't. Humboldt. Mendocino is almost $6. Humboldt is, oh my God. Sweet Jesus. $6.4 per gallon. And again, guys, this is fucking, that's just regular gas prices. San Francisco Bay. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Ooh. So this is regular gas. This is medium. This is premium. And this is diesel. $8. Oh, Jesus. Just ride the train or the light rail, the subway. Why are you even bothering? You know, I hope this November, when people go out to vote, I hope they vote to, I mean, I know people hate taxes, but for God's sakes, people, you need to stop over-relying on the automobile. Like, what are you doing? We need to fund our public transportation systems. The buses, the trains, it doesn't matter. We need to fund that shit. Because what we're seeing right now with Iran is proof we can't overly rely on our cars. We just can't. Oh, sweet Jesus. For the first time in 4 years. So we're talking since like 2022. So that's like Russo-Ukrainian war escalating. But holy Jesus. And then it compares like to the last few years or so. It was never that high when compared to this. So Donald Trump has done far more damage to the economy, energy-wise, than Putin has done when he invaded Ukraine. Unbelievable. See the news here. What about electric vehicles? Ha! Nothing! Yeah, I wonder if more people are going to try to buy electric vehicles. But that's going to be difficult, though. Because most can't seem to afford it. But if you ever got your hands on one, yeah, like, they're pretty cool, but pretty expensive, though, at the same time. Fortunately, nothing too expensive. If you are a Tesla or a BYD owner. We need fucking BYD here. I'm sick and tired of the Tesla monopoly, but I feel like Elon Musk has successfully lobbied the regime in DC to not allow BYD into the States. I mean, then again, you got like other electric cars also here, but it's nowhere as good as Tesla. Tesla's the king. But I swear, if BYD ever comes here, then Elon Musk is fucked. He's absolutely fucked. So, with that all being said, let me see if there's anything else going on Telegram before I get going. On one hand, the Iranians want to be liberated so badly they want to be nuked. On the other, everyone with a gun or a rifle was shooting at us? Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense. Let's look at AMK's mapping here. Russia's performance in March 2026. Yeah, they done better. Well, yeah, they've definitely got more land taken from the Ukrainians. But still, nothing really to get super excited about, at least yet. I mean, they're definitely pushing in the Sumy region and the Kharkiv region, too. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. There was a video of... This will be the last video I'll share, but apparently it's from Tehran. They struck the downtown airport, which used to be the primary airport, I think, utilized by the Iranians until, like, I guess the new Khomeini airport was built in the suburbs. So, yeah, pretty bad strike there on the airport. Let's see what CyberSec News is all saying. Telling everyone how impressive my first gay bareback orgy was. And then we got a massive oil tanker explosion near the American Bridge in Panama City, Panama. Boom! Yeah, that was pretty bad. The U.S. Air Force also continues to bomb roads in the Isfahan province to hinder the access of the Iranian military to the landing site of the downed F-15 pilot. And that next clip is from the Russians in Ukraine. Nothing to do with that. 2 Qatari LNG tankers were turned back at the Strait of Hormuz. So you can't leave. Got to pay the toll, but also not want to piss off the Persians with your presence of U.S. soldiers there. Netanyahu, on Sunday in a phone call, asked Trump not to move towards a ceasefire at the moment and expresses concern about the dangers of such an action. I mean, if the war ever stops anytime soon, then he's fucked. Like, they lost. Like, they will not stop until this regime is toppled. Just saying. There's a skyline of Tehran. And this is from Rybar, or Crybar, as I'd like to jokingly call them. Ten-point proposal demands an end to attacks and sanctions. Oh, yeah, and Iran will likely not accept that shit. I think some sort of ground operation will also be tried sooner or later. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to attempt an invasion at some point. We will. And it will be a disaster. The United Kingdom will refuse Donald Trump access to British bases for Iranian bridge strikes. Well, good for them. Europe should grow some balls more. Damn, Iranian oil flips into a premium over Brent crude oil. The percentage of Iranian rocket hits on Israel has increased significantly, rising from 3% in the first 2 weeks of the war to 27%. according to J.P. Morgan and the Institute for the Study of War. The present chart records an increase in the intensity of strikes on the Persian Gulf countries since March 11th. While the use of drones remains at a stable high level, the share of rocket attacks has increased by the end of the month. So these are the drones and these are the missiles. So apparently Iranians are hitting their targets a little more frequent than they used to in the past. And here is some satellite imagery of what the Iranians did to this base in Kuwait that belonged to the United States. Yeah, it looks kind of damaged, to say the least. According to Pakistan, Iran possesses approximately 15,000 ballistic missiles and about 45,000 drones. Shit. And the Russians handed Iran a list of Israel's most important energy facilities. That's very bad as well. And Donald Trump here said that he will bomb, basically everything by 12 a.m. tomorrow. So that would be like 9 p.m. Eastern time.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. We have...
Yeah, you guys get the point. He's been a fucking open war criminal right now. The Persians in Zimbabwe, of all places, say 8 p.m. is not that good. Could you change it to maybe between 1 and 2 p.m. or, if possible, 1 and 2 a.m.? Thank you for your attention to this matter. IEZ. They know it's coming. They know it's coming. And they should prepare for it. The New York Times. The war is turning Iran to a major world power. Oh, it is indeed. All right, one last video. Buyers in Dubai right now.
It looks nice. What's the price?
It's free.
You have anything cheaper?
Yeah, that's how badly the war has fucked up the Emirates. So, guys, I guess that's going to do it for today's stream regarding the state of the war in Iran. I'm still awaiting the ground operation, which I'm sure will happen very soon. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope every single one of you has a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Don't get into too much trouble. And I just hope this thing ends a lot sooner than many people expect it to end. Like, some people are now talking about it going as far as summer or perhaps even fall of 2026. I mean, if it goes on that long, then I honestly don't know how we are going to really be doing by that point. So, yeah, anyway, keep that in mind as the war continues on. And, yeah, I'll see you all next time, everybody, and take good care of yourselves. Peace out, and bye-bye.